Today, I'm going to show you the easiest finger drumming pattern.
Freebie.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Today's patron shout-out goes to Adam Pritchard. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. Whenever I post any sort of finger drumming or even real drumming or some variation of real drumming / finger drumming, I always get people commenting, how do I start finger drumming? Where do I begin? And while I have done a video on this in the past, I figured it was time to update it. I believe in that video I covered 3 or maybe even 5 different finger drumming patterns, but today I just want to cover one. And in my opinion, it is the easiest pattern that you can learn, and it works on basically any drum machine as long as you have access to a kick, a hi-hat, and a snare drum. So let's start by demonstrating it on the smallest and least expensive drum machine out of these on the desk here, the PO-32 Tonic. Again, all you need is a kick drum, a hi-hat, and a snare drum. In other words, this video is not about the sounds. Okay, I'm just going to say it now. So anyone can learn this pattern. It is super easy. You're going to need 2 fingers for this. In my opinion, 1 from each hand is the easiest way to do it. For this example, I'm going to use my 2 thumbs, but when we move on to something like the impact, I'll probably switch to my pointer fingers. So let me show you the layout. I've got a kick drum right here. Okay, I've got a snare drum right next to it, right here. And then I've got a hi-hat right here. I recommend having the hi-hat on your right hand and then having the kick and snare drum on your left hand. So before we even start pressing any buttons or pads, we want to start counting. And we're going to start counting like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Get that rhythm in your head, get comfortable with it. We're not going to worry about naming those notes. I'm not going to bother calling them quarter notes and eighth notes and all that today. It's just about learning this pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You are going to get your finger on your hi-hat pad or button. So in this case, this one right here. And you are going to play a hi-hat on every single spoken word of that pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Keep practicing that until you can play it smoothly and everything is evenly spaced out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's totally okay to count along while you're playing it. In fact, it's recommended. Now, once you are comfortable with those notes on the hi-hat, you are going to bring your other hand into the equation. And we are going to start by playing the kick drum whenever we say 1 and 3. It also just so happens that we will be playing the hi-hat on those notes as well, because remember, the hi-hat goes on every single word of this pattern. So let's give it a shot. I'm going to play it once with just the hi-hat, then I'm going to bring the kick drum in whenever I say 1 and 3. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, practice that until you can play it smoothly. If you need to, take a step back and just practice pressing or hitting your kick drum and hi-hat together at the same time smoothly. Let's try it again now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you're going to naturally have a tendency to want to speed that up. Don't give in. If you need to do anything, slow it down. Taking this slower is going to help build the muscle memory, which will allow you to speed it up in the future. Let's do it one more time together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, time for the final piece of the puzzle, the snare drum. Using the same finger that we used to hit the kick drum, we are going to hit the snare drum every time the word 2 and the word for come out of our mouth, okay? And like I just said, you're going to hit the snare drum with the kick drum finger. So the snare drum is going to go opposite the kick drum. So I'm going to play you the pattern first without the snare drum, and then I'm going to add it in so you can hear what it sounds like. And of course, I'm going to count through the whole time. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. There you go. That's the pattern. Remember, slow it down if you need to. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Once you do start feeling comfortable with it, you can begin to speed things up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, while this is a very, very basic pattern, it is a crucial building block for so many other drum patterns out there. Start listening to your favorite songs and pay attention to those drum patterns, and you can really start to hear how many of them probably come from this pattern, or at least a pattern very similar to it. Now I'm going to demo this on another piece of gear here. Let's go to the Korg Volca drum. I'm going to be using sound 1 as my kick drum. I'm going to be using sound 3 as a snare. And I'm going to be using sound 6 with this finger here as my hi-hat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. There you go. Let's try it on the T8. We've got kick drum right here. We've got snare drum right here. And we've got closed hat right here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, moving on to the OP1. Kick drum right here. Snare drum right here. Hi-hat right here. Fun fact, you can also use a ride cymbal in the place of the hi-hat if you'd like. I have a ride cymbal right here. Let's try that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. There you go. And finally, we've got the drum brute impact right here. We've got kick drum right here. We've got 2 different snare drums that we can pick from. And then we have our closed hi-hat right here. I'm going to start off using snare drum number 1, by the way. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And there you go. That's the easiest finger drumming pattern, and in my opinion, one of the easiest ways to learn it, just counting through each part individually, starting off with no drums, just counting and getting that essential 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and going on in your head. And like I said, don't be afraid to count that out loud because it'll probably help you learn. So I do hope you found this video informative or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.